Biggest benefit from quitting the vape. My anxiety went level 7 constant basis to a level 4. Depression, also less. The mood regulation and stability. I am just overall so much calmer. I'm more in my body.
It's Sofia Franklyn. You are listening to Sofia with an F, and the F is for phenomenal.
We are back. Hi, everybody. Happy Thursday. It's me again. I thought maybe today we could talk about my quitting vaping journey, which is what I was trying to talk about last week and was just having way too much fun talking to you guys and got lost in the sauce. And that's why we're going to do a part 2. Before we jump into that, I have updates. The first update is I have boobs now, and I've never had them, and it's really fun. They hurt. The reason I have tits right now is not because I got a boob job, not for any long-lasting reason, but because once I quit one thing, I gotta get up on another thing. It's like I quit vaping, my body went through all the shit, shed its skin, I was this healthy new, and then I was like, you know what, let's finally, if we can do this, we can do anything. Like, what is next on the list to quit? And spironolactone. I love how out of all of my vices, I'm like, you know what's the next most harmful one? Not my drinking habits, not my extremely toxic behavior with men. It's really that spironolactone, you know? That's the you gotta watch out for. But it's a serious drug. I mean, I don't know about you guys, but at this age, I'm not really trying to walk around and be on the same blood pressure medication that my grandpa is. Like, that's not really the vibe. And I don't know. I decided to taper off the spironolactone. One of my really good friends, Stella Berry, she suggested that I get the topical form of spironolactone. So I did that. I'm starting retinol. I know I should have been doing the retinol thing, but guys, one day at a time. I started wearing sunscreen for the first time like 2 weeks ago. Now we're incorporating the retinol and spironolactone concoction. The thing about tapering off the Spirono, I'm calling it Spirno, is I tried to do this way back when, and I broke out in not even hormonal acne, but in like these little comedones, I think they're called, just like little kind of whiteheads and pimples all over my face. My skin texture was crazy. I love how I was not trying to taper off, guys. I was in Mexico. I had forgotten my entire prescription. I obviously was not being responsible before Mexico because I remember thinking, okay, this will be like week 3 now. And then I went to the Mexican pharmacy and they were like, we have, you know, a 2 milligram Xanax bar, but we do not have spironolactone. And that's when it happened. But anyways, I want to give it another try. So I spoke to my dermatologist, which is, I'm pretty sure, just like an AI chat bot that just has like already pre-written out responses. And they asked for me to upload pictures, and it's like one of those internet skincare services, which I am not hating on. I mean, God bless. They recommended that instead of taking 100 milligrams, I go down to 50. And so that's what I started doing. And holy okay, the vertigo, I feel like I've been on a ship for 4.5 days. my vision is so blurry. So thank God I'm wearing sunglasses with like maximum UV protection, looking into this glaring iPad. Like that's fantastic. Lightheaded, tits huge, but like tits huge in a I know it's wrong way. Oh my God, do we think that Bible, swear to God, you guys, I've always only purchased, well, that's a lie. I used to only purchase almond milk. I dated a vegan however many years ago, and that was one thing that stuck. Then I really got serious about my protein intake, and I was like, you know what? Get all to hell. I'm getting dairy milk. And I know that that's like something that they tell you is a myth when you're in middle school. Does drinking whole milk make your tits bigger? I seriously need to know. I feel like it possibly could. I feel like drinking whole milk does have an impact on your hormones. Am I crazy? Whatever the reason is, the spironolactone is like, it's doing all types of crazy shit. I'm just going to write it out. As long as I'm not breaking out, we're okay. But that's my update. Besides that, I want to just give a shout out and appreciation and a nod to all of the people listening who have children, not pets as children. Well, actually, that definitely counts too. Not like a Lego as children, like living, breathing humans running around, because I felt parent guilt for the first time over my Madagascar palm plant, which my palm plant is a 1 in a million Madagascar palm, okay? And you guys are like, what the f*** is she talking about? It is a tree cactus. It is a cactus tree. And it does come from Madagascar. And I just so happen to have one that looks unlike any Madagascar palm you'll ever see. Last night when I went to go water him, his name is Maurice. Also, he's like, Maurice is not cheap. Okay, I'm pretty sure Maurice was $2K. So it's not just like a little joke. By the way, Soph is here with us. Soph, if I end up needing to leave New York, are you going to take care of Maurice?
I'll try.
Really? Because you kind of talk on all my plants. Soph thinks it's like such an embarrassing, like millennial, washed up, just out of date. She said that my love for my plants was like this really cool meme and this really cool trend in the 2000s. And then I need to leave it alone. Whatever. I love Maurice. I love him more than anything. I go to water him, and one of his stems is completely discolored. And my heart dropped, like my heart sank. I immediately ran to Claude, which is so much better than ChatGPT, you guys. If you are getting your feelings hurt by ChatGPT, I highly recommend going over to an AI platform that will actually care about you, and that's Claude. So let me just say that. Yes, ChatGPT actually insulted me. But I went to Claude and I was speaking to Claude for 2.5 hours, like asking it every question. I was sending it pictures. I went into hysteria. The guilt that I felt, you guys, for the state of Maurice. How the f*** am I going to feel when it's a child who has feelings and says words and, you know, is a person? I don't know. I have no idea how you guys do it. I'm going to keep you guys updated on Maurice. Basically, as soon as I am done recording, I'm going to have to get a fucking, what are they called? I'm going to have to ask someone to borrow a machete and chop down said stem. it's not like a stem off like, a regular tree branch. It's like a thick trunk and it's going to be a whole thing. But I'll keep you guys updated on his health. Should we talk about vaping or lack thereof? I think it's time. Now I'm like dangling it like a carrot. Imagine if I just said, and you guys can go check me out on Patreon, and it's going to be $45 to hear about my vape journey. I don't have a Patreon, you guys. I want to start one because I heard you can say way crazier, but we'll see. The vape. Last week, I told you guys that to quit vaping, I allowed myself to partake in literally any nicotine I wanted, as long as it was not in the form of a vape. It wasn't just nicotine. I let all of my vices rock. I let my freak flag fly. Nothing was off limits. If I wanted to drunk dial a random number and say some horrible, awful shit, I was going to do it. I think there were a few days that this was also in the depths of winter, maybe February. There was a Wednesday where I was feeling like I was craving a vape so bad that I made cocktails at like 11 a.m. There was a full work day ahead. Soph was here. My mom was here. And I was like, guys, have you ever had a Negroni spritz? And they're like, it's 10:30 a.m. And I was like, let's run it. They also each had one, just by the way. Not to throw them under the bus, but you know what? I wasn't drinking alone, so it doesn't count as a bad habit. I think if you're going to do something very difficult, let the other slide. Don't try and do a bunch of all at once. I want to talk about why I decided to quit. Besides all the obvious reasons, when you vape, no one is vaping and thinking to themselves, this is good for me. This is a habit that I can keep going until I'm on my deathbed. Like, this is fine. I think that there's this level of shame that surrounds anyone who vapes. And that's coming from me, who feels very, very little shame for acting not in accordance with the Lord. And so I'm not going to like list all the things that I was worried about and I was scared about. There were health concerns and blah, blah, blah. It was out of pure vanity. Straight up. I remember I looked in the mirror, I guess too many days in a row, and thought that my skin looked gray and looked crepey. And I finally was just like, no, enough. This is crazy. Also, I think, shout out Dr. Lafer, when I asked her the infamous question that she gets mad at me for because I just hit her with a left punch, she was like, I couldn't even give a disclosure. I was sitting in her office and I said, Dr. Lafer, listen, I can only quit one of these things: Adderall, alcohol, vaping. She said vaping. And she did not bat an eyelash, and it was very serious. And I think that resonated with me. And so when I was looking in the mirror day after day, feeling ugly as I don't know, I finally just like hit a wall that was just like enough. I think the biggest catalyst though was feeling really happy with my life. I had spent the year leading up to it putting in the hard work. I went through with the breakup. I moved my apartment. There was a bunch of work. There was just a lot of changes and a lot of stuff that I implemented. And I started to like reap the benefits. I love my job. I'm in an amazing relationship. I'm just happy. Like, it's great. And I thought, now there won't be a better time to quit. There just won't. Now is the time. And it was so random though, too, because it was like in the middle of the afternoon on a Saturday. I remember laying on the couch and something just came over me. And I had this thought because I reached for the vape and I was like, I'm going to pay attention to how I feel after I hit it. And I was like, I don't feel you build up this tolerance where you just keep fucking ripping the vape all day long, and really think about it and pay attention next time. Is it helping with your anxiety? Is it like taking away the bad feeling? Because I'm going to go ahead and say nah. Yes, if I forgot to hit the vape for like a couple hours, like would it feel good to finally stick that thing back in my mouth? Sure. But I think it's something to definitely pay attention to. A lot of you guys wrote in asking me, well, what about my anxiety? What about, I'm going through a breakup right now. Things are really fucking hard. I don't want to add like this other layer of hardship to it. I totally get that. But I want to tell you this. The vape is a coping thing. It is a full-on security blanket. And I remember anytime I would want to hit the vape, it was because I was trying to feel better. I had some feeling that felt either uncomfortable or overwhelming, or I wanted to numb it. And that's when I would hit the vape. Humans be moody, okay? Like, you're gonna go through 789 mood changes throughout the day. The thing about feelings and being human, you cannot escape it. There's no substance. I mean, sure, like hook me up to some morphine. I'm sure I won't really give a shit about fucking Brad who cheated on me, but eventually you will. And you can't be, running around town on morphine 24/7. It's not sustainable. If you're like me and want a nicotine routine that fits your lifestyle, check out Lucy Breakers. These nicotine pouches are 100% pure nicotine and totally tobacco-free. The best part? Each pouch has a little capsule you can pop for an extra burst of flavor and hydration. Trust me, it is a game changer. I've been hooked on the mint flavor lately. It's super refreshing. I usually go with the 8 milligram strength. Sometimes I'll tone it down with the 4 milligram. It just depends. And it's perfect for those moments when I need to reset and refocus. Plus, Lucy makes it easy with a subscription that delivers straight to your door so you'll never run out. Let's level up your nicotine routine with Lucy. Go to lucy.co/Sofia and use promo code Sofia to get 20% off your first order. Lucy even has a 30-day refund policy if you change your mind. Again, that's lucy.co and use code Sofia to get 20% off. And here's the fine print. Lucy products are only for adults of legal age, and every order is age verified. Warning, this product contains nicotine. Nicotine is an addictive chemical. Losing weight is tough, but Noom is making it easier than ever. You probably know Noom as a leader in behavior change and sustainable weight loss, but now they're taking it a step further with Noom GLP-1, a compounded semaglutide that helps you lose weight and keep it off. And the best part, it's actually affordable, starting at just $149. For those who qualify, Noom GLP-1 ships right to your door in just 7 days. But Noom is more than just medication. Their proven program pairs GLP-1s with Companion, a guide designed to help you build lasting habits and maintain muscle while losing fat. Plus, you'll have access to a doctor, a coach, and a supportive community right from the app. Noom GLP-1 starts at $149 and is delivered to your door in 7 days. Start your GLP-1 journey today at Noom.com. That's Noom.com. Noom, the smart way to lose weight. Not all customers will medically qualify for prescription medications. Compounded medications are not reviewed by the FDA for safety, efficacy, or quality. Here's the thing, and if you weren't paying attention, listen the fuck up. The biggest takeaway and biggest benefit from quitting the vape, my anxiety went level 7 constant basis to a level 4, maybe a fucking 3. And let me tell you, if I would have fucking known that so much of my anxiety was attributed to the motherfucking vape, I would have quit ages ago. I would have quit so fucking long ago because I'm doing all the other shit, right? I'm working out. I'm getting great sleep every night. I'm not eating healthy, whatever. I know all the things I need to do to help with my anxiety. Never once on that list was the vape concern. Like that wasn't even a factor when I thought about my mood. Anxiety, significantly less. Depression, also less. I noticed the anxiety dissipate more, but the sadness and just kind of like low feelings I would have throughout the day, way, way less. The mood regulation and stability. If there's one thing you take away from this episode, it's that. Because I am just overall so much calmer, just calmer throughout the day. Even when I'm sitting in my apartment, in social settings, when I'm talking to people, like I just remember I could be talking to fucking anyone. I could be picking up my sandwich from Subway. LO fucking L. Like I have picked up a sandwich in person since Postmates was invented. That's hilarious. But I could be doing the smallest interaction and I would just feel throughout my entire body just like this kind of nervous energy for no fucking reason. No fucking reason. Do you think the guy at Subway is like, damn, this girl, she's looking like this or talking like this or acting like this? No, it was like I would watch myself from above type of thing. And I'm more in my fucking body and I'm chill with it. And when I feel an uncomfortable feeling, I don't know what I do. I probably still do something fucking unhealthy, but it's not the same. And I feel like it goes away way faster. And it's just not as intense. Let's talk about the important shit though, which is what it did to my outer appearance. Actually, before we talk about that, I will never forget something that Soph told me. We were at this event and all of these people were coming up to me and asking for a selfie and saying they were the biggest fan. And I was like, oh my God. And Soph, as we were leaving, turned to me and she said, I have never seen you more present and in your element and just being you with other people ever in my life. She was shocked. Like, it was the craziest fucking thing. And I felt it too. I was having conversations with people and actually listening to what they were saying and responding in a way that like a normal human would respond, not in this like, okay, I gotta just say this thing so then I can hurry and give off this vibe and then I can run outside and fucking hit the vape. Because Lord knows I would dare not hit that shit indoors. That alone is worth quitting the fucking vape. No matter how hard it is, no matter the not so fun side effects or changes that happen, which I will also touch on those. But let's talk about the fun shit, okay? Like being hotter. I noticed kind of right away my skin color did in fact change. And the people of Reddit, not like the colors of the world crayons box change, although maybe I could try to see, you know what, a little bit. There was more, like there was blood pumping through my fucking veins. And if you think that that is an embellishment, that is not. That is a medical fact that happens when you vape. Your blood circulation and oxygen circulation, if oxygen circulates, is fucked. I mean, it's compromised, okay? My eyes, that was like a very weird one that Soph pointed out, actually. My eyes were brighter. You know, I don't know if it was so much that they were brighter. I think it was that there was actual water able to reach them. Like there was a little tiny bit of H2O that was able to penetrate through the fucking vape smoke dehydration barrier and reach my eyeballs. So, you know, shiny or wet, we don't know, but it looked fucking good. This really fucking crazy weird thing happened, and I haven't seen anyone talk about it online, but I think it was 2 weeks into it. I was brushing my hair and my hair was slicked to my fucking face. It was so oily. It was as if I had dipped my head in a thing of melted butter. And I had just washed it the night before. And I remember thinking to myself, like, what the fuck? Like, okay, I must have not done a great job in the shower. I washed my hair. Next day, slicked. Like I should have been doing the slick back bun. And I don't even need hairspray or any fucking product because this shit is like slicked and wet and ready to go. Oh my God, it was not cute. And then I could feel the oil in my hands. This is like so fucking sad. Like we are walking around like SpongeBob when he leaves the ocean and he's like water on the fucking sandy beach. That is how we're walking around when we vape. You are a shriveled up prune. And it's really alarming. I did gain weight. And I know a lot of you guys, that's a concern. I did put on 10 pounds. I was constipated as fuck, which you would think the opposite would be true. No, you wouldn't, because the vape is a stimulant. Hi. That's why everyone's always like, oh yeah, I have my morning coffee and cigarette and then use the bathroom. Yeah, well, I was constipated. I didn't even mind the weight gain though. I mean, that's a fucking lie. I mean, I'm sure I made comments because I'm a woman and I hate when I'm skinny, hate when I'm curvier, hate when I'm in between. You guys fucking hate it too, all the incels. I just let it rock. I didn't care. And everything leveled out. Now I'm back to the weight I was at. Besides my humongous tits, not to brag. My mouth health, like I used to have dry mouth like a motherfucker, and I would complain about it and like hyperfixate on it. That rarely happens now. Gum health. I went to the dentist and they were like, wow, what have you been doing differently? Like, this looks so good compared to your last visit. The only thing that had changed is the vape. I still wasn't wearing my Invisalign. I still wasn't doing what they asked me to. I just quit the vape. Another thing, and I don't know if this will make sense or translate, but I feel like now I can take a full breath. Like it's this breath that just like hits different, and there's a beginning and an end, and it's like a full 360 breathing situation, and it's marvelous. The cravings and my overall just hunger definitely went through the roof. It wasn't like the weight gain was just the constipation. I don't want it to sound that way. I was fucking eating, let me tell you. And I was craving sugar like a motherfucker. Soph was a genius, and she said that we should go to CVS and get lollipops. And I would do that too because of the oral fixation, which I think is 50% of it. I'm not even fucking joking. The oral fixation aspect to it, I started to wear the Invisalign just so I could put chewies in my mouth, which are these little rubbery things they give you with Invisalign, so that the trays like really fucking stick it to your teeth, you know? Soph kind of got in on the chewy too one day. We were walking around my apartment, you would think we had dip in our mouth, like fucking farmers, just chewing on this thing, mouth hanging open all day long. How else did I deal? So at first, I drank 10 times the amount of water that I did when I vaped. I wish that would have stuck with me. I swear to God, I have fucking rabies because water scares me. But I started to drink way more water. How else did I deal with the oral fixation? I mean, again, I had nicotine lozenges, nicotine pouches, gum. The people really rallied to make sure that I stayed on the fucking nicotine. I'm not gonna say big pharma, big nicotine. I don't know what's going on, but I made one comment on my social media, and holy shit, I was showered with like nicotine gifts. I love how I'm saying like, oh my God, I have no idea why these companies were bombarding me with nicotine products. I made vape quitting my entire personality, and I hated myself for it, and I was aware of it the entire time, but I couldn't be stopped. Anyone who would listen, I walk into the bodega. Yeah, I'm just kind of quitting vaping. I'm on this whole journey right now, so that's just a little bit about me. I could not fucking help myself. I needed everyone to know. Maybe it was this kind of defense mechanism because I was going through a hard time and just felt like I needed to make an announcement. I don't fucking know, but I would really kind of scream it from the rooftops and let everyone fucking know. How was I able to successfully quit the vape? Because as someone who trolls Reddit for hours and hours a day on any page except my own, I have read every single post that there is. That was a huge hyper fixation for me, was chat GPTing or clotting or Googling the quitting vaping timeline, because there is a motherfucking timeline, people. The first 48 hours, there were cravings, a lot of them, mostly for me in the mornings, because there was nothing I loved more than to wake up and just hit that morning vape. the first 48 hours, there were cravings. It was super fucking hard. I had to like actively, keep myself preoccupied and distracted. And this weird thing would happen where I would get a feeling of like excitement wave over me. And then I would think to myself, wait, why are you excited right now? Only to realize I was getting excited because I was going to go fucking hunt for the vape or something. It was like, what is it? Pavlov? Maslow? What's the dog? Pavlov. Maslow and Pavlov. That's what I'm going to name my next two dogs. It was the Pavlov. Is that what it is?
Pavlov.
Holy shit. The Pavlov.
Okay.
Stanford experiment. I don't even know, was it fucking Stanford? And I would start satiating and I didn't even have the vape. I wasn't even allowed to fucking vape. That was fucking crazy. Shit was fucking hard. I called my mom every 2 seconds and every time I had a craving and I would tell her, okay, I'm going to vape right now. I'm going to get a vape immediately. And she would kind of talk me off the ledge and distract me. What happened the third day post quitting? I feel like I need to give a PSA because shit was wild. I was laying in bed with my mom and it was nighttime. And out of fucking nowhere, my heart started racing and beating like 100 beats per minute. I don't know what a regular heartbeat is, but it was a lot, okay? Whatever a regular heartbeat is, just quadruple it. It was this anxiety that was 90% physical. It was like my entire body was just in fucking fight or flight mode. I came out into the living room, I remember, and I was like, what the fuck is up? Like, am I having anxiety? Did something happen? Why is my heart rate going through the roof? And I couldn't figure it out. I don't even think I went to sleep that night. The next day, I had 2 interviews. And I was doing 2 recordings with guests. And I remember texting Soph and just being like around like 10 a.m. and being like, yeah, I don't know if that's going to happen. I'm sure I sent the craziest, most cryptic shit because it was a kind of anxiety where even just getting a sentence out via text message felt like insurmountable. So I did what I do best and I decided to look it up on the internet. And that is one of the withdrawal symptoms is anxiety, and especially of like the physical body kind. I was fighting off a panic attack the entire time. That lasted for about 2 days. And I remember I emailed my psychiatrist and reached out to my therapist, which I never do. You know how at the end of every session, they're always like, and you know what? I'm always available if like something really concerning, and I never do it. This was fucking really concerning. And my psychiatrist was like, well, you're prescribed propranolol. Did you take that? If you really need it, I can give you Klonopin. And I was like, okay, so that would have been amazing to hear when it was happening, like maybe like 2 fucking days ago, bruh. But yes, I'll take the Klonopin. Just kidding. I'm really, really proud of myself. I did not take him up on the Klonopin offer. So that was really cool. I love how I'm talking about this like it's not a doctor prescribing. Like, oh yeah, I just decided not to. When I was about to go into like a full-fledged PA, let's call him a PA, because I know the words panic and the words attack together can be triggering for people. We're gonna call them PAs. I was at my apartment alone. My mom was at work. Soph had deserted me. She was over my fucking bullshit. And I was like, if my heart exploded, who would be here to drive me to the hospital? And it reminded me of that scene in Sex and the City when Miranda is like eating cake out of the garbage or something. They did Miranda so dirty in Sex and the City. I'm sorry. Like, I don't know what the fuck. Like, it was like they were trolling her. I love her, though. She chokes on something and almost dies. And she calls Carrie and she's like hysterical. And she says, if I choked on something, there's no one here to help me. I'm a single girl living alone and my cats would fucking find me. And that thought ran through my head. And so you know what I did? I went and sat across the street at a coffee shop because I thought to myself, oh, if something bad happens to me, it's going to be everyone's fucking problem. Welcome to Sophia's fucking anxiety attack world. If my heart is going to stop or burst out of my chest, I'm not going to, risk my life and just be chilling in my apartment alone. I'm going to be out in public. I'm going to make my problem everyone else's problem. And that, by the way, instantly alleviated. Actually, that's complete and total bullshit, but it did help with the anxiety. Soph keeps reminding me that I also apparently would get very irritated. Soph, can you elaborate? Was that with you? Was that just life? Oh, with my mom. I'm irritated of my mom, but it was probably times a trillion for sure. And you know what? I just took everything in stride and I was like, my emotions are going to be fucking wacky for a little bit. Everything needs to balance out, level out, and this is going to be way better for me in the long run. But the benefits of the mood stabilization, that happened like pretty early on. Like I would say right after the few days where I was feeling panicky, then that started to set in. I also used the I Am Sober app, and that was helpful to like see the reminder of how long I had gone without vaping. And yeah, one of the best decisions I've ever made. I think if you're having a really hard time, I know that there's prescription medicine, Chantix. I've also heard of people getting on like antidepressants just temporarily to help with it. I also heard that there's a particular gene that certain people might have that makes quitting smoking a lot harder. But none of you guys have that, so you don't need to worry about it. All in all, it was not that hard. It was not that fucking hard. Part of the reason I didn't do it is because I made up in my head that it was going to be this excruciating, all-consuming, horrifying experience. Like, aside from the 2 days of anxiety and like, yeah, it can kind of suck here and there, it really was not that fucking bad. Also, read How to Quit Smoking by Alan Carr, which I heard has changed lives as well. And that's it, you guys. There'll be a part 3 because I'm going to do a whole season on quitting vaping. It was my personality back then, and it still is my personality now. I love you guys so fucking much, and I will talk to you sleuths next week. If you are looking for the inspo to quit vaping, this is your inspo, and you fucking got it. And write in your stories and ask me any questions you have. Bye, sleuths.